When my wife and we first started buying rental properties, taking care of all of the expenses was a breeze. The reason was we would just have an Excel spreadsheet with all the different expenses. So I'd open up the spreadsheet, add in a new expense, boom, done. It was super easy. But we noticed that as time went on and we started buying a flip here and another rental here and then another flip over here and then another rental over here, we noticed that there were a lot more moving pieces, and so that Excel spreadsheet, it wouldn't cut it anymore. One, not only is it annoying because it's hard to track, but two, we started losing receipts and we started to lose money. It would cost us money because we would miss out on these deductions when it came to tax time. I started looking for a better way to track our expenses. I looked at all of the different pieces of software, and to be honest, there's a lot of them out there. Naturally, one of the first ones, and probably the one that was recommended the most, was Quickbooks Online. The reason for that is just because they've been around forever, they've got a big name in the space, but even still, I wasn't super happy with Quickbooks. The reason for that is because Quickbooks is trying to be the one-stop shop, the end-all be-all expense tracker for every single business. And that's fine, that's okay, but I was looking for very detailed, specific metrics on the performance of my properties, how individual properties, how well they were doing. So here's the thing, you may be bringing in rent checks, you may have your tenants, you may have your properties, you bring in the rent every month, you cash them, and you think you have a good idea on what you're spending on expenses or whatnot, but do you really know, until you track every single penny down to that very last cent, do you really know how well your properties are doing? You may be bringing in rent checks every month, but you may actually be net negative on that property. So QuickBooks sort of had what I wanted. They had these things called classes, and you could add that, you could add your property. But in order to do that, you had to pay $35 a month to get all the detailed metrics and performance that I wanted. And at the end of the day, I don't want to spend $450 a year to track the performance of my properties. I thought to myself, if there is not something out there that I absolutely love, I'm not going to pay for it. I kept searching and searching and searching. I could not find something that I loved. And so I thought to myself, I'm just going to build it myself. And so that's exactly what I did. Over the last year, I've been working on a rental property expense tracker, and it's an app. It's called Rentastic, and it's fantastic. Okay, that's bad, that's cheesy, but the app is called Rentastic, and over the last year, I've been working on it, and you may notice that even over the last couple weeks, I've actually been fairly absent on YouTube. The reason for that is because I've been working so hard on launching this app, and today is the day. It's finally launching, it's ready to go, and obviously I'm a little biased, but I think it's pretty great. I've spent well over 2,000 hours working on this app. I've tested it, I've worked with developers, I've worked with test users to kind of just see what they think, see how user-friendly it is, and starting today, it's finally live on the Apple App Store as well as the Google Play Store. And not only that, if you don't want to use your phone, there's a full-blown website where you can go in, you can see your performance, you can see your metrics, see how everything's going. And I think it's really great, and I think you should check it out. So here's how it works. Step 1, you go and you add your properties. Step 2, you link your bank account. Step 3, you automatically classify your transactions, and then you're done. Taking care of your expenses and tracking everything shouldn't take more than 10, 15, 20 seconds per day at the most. And that's what I wanted. I want it to be so simple, easy, user-friendly that you could go in, manage your portfolio on the go, and then you're done. And then at tax time, you literally click a button, your taxes are done. So let's jump into the app. I'll give you a walkthrough, kind of show you how it works, and hopefully you like it. Okay, so jumping into Rentastic, the URL is rentastic.io. You come to this page, go ahead and register for an account, obviously, because you won't have one. Once you're registered, you can log in. And this right here is the main dashboard. And these are our actual expenses. You can see our income, our expenses for this month. These numbers are abnormally high. We just started a flip, and so we have a lot of expenses, but we'll have a lot of income in just a little bit once that property sells. But as you come in here, you can see portfolio value, you can see the debt that we have on this properties, you can see how many properties we have, how many units we have, and then as you scroll down on the main dashboard, you can see income versus expenses. And again, obviously this month is incredibly high because of that flip, but that will make up for it in later months. So this is the main dashboard. This is where you get a quick glance of all all of your income and your expenses. If we come over here to the properties section, you get a list of all the different properties. You can see our rental properties. You can see how we're doing. You can see the overview of everything, how many units, the value, the market value, everything like that. So let me jump into this property. This is the very first rental property that we ever bought. You can see where it's located. You can see your loan to value. You can see net cash flow per unit, your cap rate, net operating income, how much it's worth. And then down here, it's really cool because you can see what all of your expenses are. So you can see in July, we brought in $1,700 of income, and you can see we spent money on the mortgage, and the only other thing we spent was $53 on utilities. So our net for that month was $975. You can see same thing for August. Income was a little bit lower. You can see that we had a big repair. So we actually had to take out a big elm tree in the front yard, and that was incredibly expensive. So for the month, we're at a net loss. We're negative $1,100. Obviously, we've got funds for that budgeted, but you can get an overview of how your properties are doing and how the expenses are looking. If you come over here to transactions, you get a list of all of the different transactions because it's linked to our bank account. So you can see here different transactions. We've had deposits, we've had expenses, down payment, closing costs, all sorts of things. So let's take this for example. This is a tenant and they paid their rent, and they pay twice a month. They pay every 2 weeks when they get paid. So I can just easily click here and classify this as income, and then I assign it to the property, which is 194 Center Street. And boom, you're done. So you do that with all of your transactions, and it's so easy. I've got a couple transactions that I haven't classified yet. You can see there's 247 boxes that I need to go through and I need to classify. If I come down here, probably on page 5, for example, you can see all of this. So let me see, I don't know, for example, this was a credit card payment that I made for $3,000. So I'm gonna do a drop down. I'm gonna mark that as a transfer because I transferred it to the credit card to pay it off. And this applies to not only one specific property, but it applies to the entire portfolio. And boom, you're done. In 2 clicks, you've classified that transaction and you're done. Now, on top of that, obviously you can come here to your bank accounts. These are the bank accounts that are importing transactions. It's got support for thousands of different banks. If you click on link an account, you can come here, it's completely safe, it's completely secure. Click on continue. You can see there's Chase, Bank of America, all the main big ones, but there's also tons of little tiny credit unions and everything like that. For example, I live in Idaho, so there's a credit union here called East Idaho Credit Union. East Idaho Credit Union. You click on that and you can enter your username and your password and automatically import your transactions. So every time you have an expense, every time you swipe your credit card for your business, it automatically imports your latest transactions. I think it's pretty slick. Again, it's 100% safe, 100% secure. We use a third-party application to import your bank account, so we never, ever get your banking information. We don't have access to any of your funds. All we're getting is a copy of your transaction data. Also, you can come here too, for example, so these are the rent estimates. So where I live, for example, we have some rentals at 83221. Estimate, you can see here that a studio apartment, rough numbers, should rent for $550 a month. Then you can see for 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom, 4 bedroom. It's pretty slick. If you have no idea what your units are gonna rent for, you're just starting out, you have no idea where to price your units, then this would be a great tool for you. Not to mention too, come tax time, you click on the report section, you go to your P&L statement, you generate this, you select the tax year, I'll just say 2020 for example. Then from here, you can choose all of the different categories that you want. You can say, oh, I want all of these categories, or maybe I don't want to select food or my meals. Maybe I just spent a lot and I want to exclude those so that my income looks higher. Whatever you want to do, I'll include them right now. You click on generate, and then in 5 seconds, you have a PDF showing all of your income. And then as you come down here, you can say your total expenses, net operating income, capital expenses. This is just a report. You print out, you give it to your CPA, your taxes are done. This is golden because typically I spend 10 to 15 hours every single year to just do my taxes, and it's such a pain. Now I can literally click a button, give it to my CPA, and everything's done. Okay, not to mention too, we've got an iOS app and an Android app, so whatever phone you use, you have access to everything on your phone as well. So you can see our August income, August expenses, looks very similar to the dashboard that you're used to on the main website. 2, you can come in here to properties and you get the exact same data. You click on a property, you can see the Zestimate, cap rate, NOI, all of these different numbers. You can see your income, expenses, just like you can on the main website. Not to mention too, you can go into transactions. You can quickly classify transactions on the go. So for example, this was a credit card payment. I've already classified it, but you can mark it as a transfer. And then this applies again to the entire portfolio. If it doesn't apply to the entire portfolio, you can specify the property that you want to classify to. Now that transaction applies to 13th Street, and you can get expenses and income for that specific property in the report section on the main website. Okay, so that is a quick overview of the app. Again, it's so simple and incredibly easy. I guarantee that if you have all these expenses, all these properties everywhere, this is going to be a game changer for you. So check it out, see what you think. If you like it, let me know. If you don't like it, also let me know, because I'm curious to get your feedback on how to make this better. If you're stuck using Excel, stop right now. That is way too much of a headache and a hassle when you can use something like this. So that is it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to check out the app, rentastic.io, or download the app and register on your phone. It's super easy. Give me your feedback. I'm curious to see what you think. Until next week, that's it. Thanks for watching.